Hey guys, welcome back. I figured I'd share some experiences with adding heated seats to my 4000 Quattro. The model I have is a 4000, but a commemorative design. Never offered heated seats in that particular model. So, being the nerd I am, I wanted to retrofit all factory stuff to the seats. So, I'll go through with you today really quick what you need and some items to look out for when you do this. So first of all, parts you need. Harness, I have a factory harness here, plugs, switch itself, relays. So I've not run this in the car yet, but I will by the time this is out. Heating elements, you got the seat bottom here and seat back here. One thing I would highly recommend if you go this route, have some sort of power supply to test said heating seat elements before you put them in the car. People ask me why I did not go with an aftermarket element. I could have, but in terms of sizing, I don't know how it's going to fit on the seat. So I knew that these, being factory, were going to fit. So that's one good thing to know. A few of the tools besides common stuff, screwdrivers and stuff. To get the hog rings off, get a pair of good snippers here. These are helpful. I'll show you guys in a few minutes with leather and foam separated what I'm talking about in terms of hog rings and the tight space in there. To cinch things back up, I opted to use zip ties instead of hog rings, which I had. This is a lot easier, probably lasts a bit longer too. So these are some things you're going to need to start to retrofit your Audi with factory stuff. But I will go and show you now what I mean when I said about the hog rings and the foam and leather. Let's get to it. All right, you're looking at the underside of a Mouton red leather front seat skin. So how these are attached to the actual foam itself, there are these metal bars that go along here, also front to back. And then there are hog rings that would hold, here's a piece one right here, that would hold this to the foam, which I'll show you in a minute. So when you first get the seat out and the seat foam and leather on the bench, you'll start from the back. Start to pull things up, but then you have to start getting in there with some snippers to get the hog rings loose between the foam and the leather here. So there are a lot of these to get, and it's tough space. I think if there's some longer snippers that you can find, that'll make the job even easier. Mine weren't too long, so it's kind of challenging to get everything in there. So that's the leather part, and I will show you the foam part next. All right, here is the butt foam piece, which I like to call it. And starting at the back here, you can see where there's actually hog rings still left in here, part of it, that would hook into the other metal rod from the leather part. And it happens all the way along here, along the back, side, all the way around. And that's how your leather is attached to the foam piece of the seat. So once that's off, then you have, a separate piece with the foam and leather, and you can actually lay down your heating element and then, reposition the leather and then cover things back up. And this is where the zip ties come into play. I looped them around underneath the metal rod here, cinched it to the metal rod on the leather, and there you go. Pretty simple. I'm assuming from the factory, the elements are actually directly below the leather in the little pouch there that would be above the rods that go across. So mine's a bit different. Hopefully it lasts and it works okay. But that would be how you would handle adding the elements to the butt part of the seat. All right, seat back. This is much easier than the butt part. So basically what you got to do is, when you get the seat separated, there are these triangle guys here that kind of hold the leather together. This flap here, this comes up. So what you're going to do is just pull these guys down. There's a metal rod in here that will you'll loop over a couple of these guys too. Then the seat's already done. I'm not going to show you guys, but this part here, this flips all the way up and back. Then there'll be like a pouch, an opening here where you can look inside, and you'll find this stuff. You'll find this how it is in the seat. There's like this, how do you want to call it? A mat of some sorts that's stapled to the leather. Then a piece of foam that goes behind it. So all you're doing is replacing this, the heating element, with this guy. So in this particular seat right here, this was here, but the other foam piece was gray. So discard the gray part. I tried to put in the element, but in my case, the section was too narrow here. So I ended up taking out this stuff entirely, and then zip tying. I put the element in and then zip tied it all the way across the leather. I'll put a photo up of that, what it looks like. It should hold fine. You can't even tell the zip ties are there, which is great. So the seat back is definitely much easier than the butt piece. So all it's up to do is put this guy back on and then get to the wiring. So the wiring itself is just running that from the fuse box onto the carpet and then to each side of the tunnel for passenger and driver. Pretty simple. I'm not going to show you guys that. But I will show you guys what happens when we try to run the heated seats for the first time. So hopefully they work. Let's get to it. All right, guys, I lied. I will show you really quick in terms of wiring what you got to do under the fuse box. Hopefully you guys can see it's okay. So the only things you got to do here is a red and white wire. I think it goes to, is it P30A? And then there's a yellow and black wire. It goes to M75. There is another adjacent yellow connector. It goes inboard of that. Aside from that, there will be a ground connection, one of these guys here, and also a ring ground connection that goes over here. So you get the relays here. Those are all set to go. Looks like they should belong there. Then aside from that, fuse box connection, there is a 30-amp fuse. You put that in. And in terms of wiring, this part of the car, that's about it. So with that, that's the wiring. And then we'll bring you guys back when everything's all set up and good to go. Let's get to it. All right, guys, we're done putting the interior back together, about 99%. The only thing I got to do is trim a bit more on the trim piece that goes on the inner side of the seat rail. I didn't realize there's a part that needed trim, so I'll do that. But aside from that, let's see if this thing works. All right, looks like it does work still, which is good. So that's great. This project's done just in time for the, God, it's hot in here. The 90-degree weather we're gonna have. We've already had today and tomorrow, so we'll carry on. Hope you guys enjoyed this. This wasn't really a tutorial. It's more about what I did to get this retrofitted to the car. So if you got any questions, happy to answer them in the comments below. But until then, we'll carry on. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you soon. Take care.